Good morning, and thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. We are on the Mark. I'm Marc Renee, 1010 Win Sports Director, and to my left is the Detroit Pistons veteran of 6 years now in the NBA, if my math is right, and a Long Island native, Tobias Harris. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thank you.
25 years old next month. Boy, that's a milestone birthday. You excited about it?
Yeah, I am. Getting old, day by day, but feeling great at the same time.
You were born in Islip. I have to ask, obviously, were you a Knicks fan or a Nets fan growing up?
You know, honestly, I wasn't either. I was growing up. I was a MJ fan first, and then I really liked the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. Those are my two teams.
Now that's interesting because your career high, if memory serves, came against the Lakers a couple of seasons back.
Yeah.
And it might have been the last time you would play against Kobe, except that he was out hurt.
Yeah, I know. That was a bummer for me. He's a guy that, growing up, always admired his work ethic and what he put into the game. But I did get to play against him once or twice in my career, so those were always great moments.
Your best game last season came against the Knicks.
Yeah.
I think 28 points in March. Do you get up for games against the Knicks and the Nets any more than any other team? I know the Pistons obviously have different rivals being in that division, but what goes through your mind when you're playing one of the local teams that you grew up watching?
Yeah, not really. You know, I get up versus anybody that I play, you know, and just want to go out there and compete and do my best to help our team win. But definitely love playing at the Garden when you come home, get to see a lot of family. In a historic arena too. So, but yeah, there's definitely good matchups versus the Knicks every single time, and it's a great game.
What did you think of the finals that just ended the other day between the Warriors and the Cavaliers?
Thought it was great. I mean, you know, two very good teams. Golden State has just so much firepower, and it was tough for Cleveland to, you know, really match them and win in that series. I mean, you had to be pretty much perfect to win a game, and you know it improves the level of where other teams have to be, like our team, to get to that point one day. So it's exciting, and at the same time it's very motivating for me.
Now, for those who don't know, Tobias grew up on Long Island, went to high school at Half Hollow Hills West.
Yep. Yeah.
Started playing in 8th grade on the varsity, if memory serves. Then your junior year, you transferred to Long Island Lutheran, before going back for your senior year to Half Hollow Hills West. You were named Mr. Basketball for New York State in 2010. How cool an achievement was that?
It was a great achievement for me. It was something that, as a kid, that I have set goals to be, was to be one of the best players in the country, and then you know, to be the best player in the state. So it was a really fun ride with our team. You know, even my freshman and sophomore year being at Hills West and going to Lou High, winning the state championship and playing against a different competition, and then coming back to West for another year. I got to play with my brothers too, which was awesome, and you know, it was just a lot of fun.
We had Kenny Anderson in this chair a few weeks ago. He, of course, wound up going from Brooklyn and Queens to Georgia Tech. How does a Long Island guy wind up at the University of Tennessee like you did?
Well, you know, Coach Pearl did a great job of just recruiting me and really embracing me as a person, my family, letting me know that it was the right place. And at the same time, I thought it was an amazing opportunity for me to go in. You know, the forward position was kind of wide open at that time, and I looked at that as an opportunity to play and excel. And you know, I fell in love with the campus and the people at Tennessee too. It's a special place in my life and in my heart too that you know, I'll never forget.
Only 1 year before you got drafted, and we'll talk about that in just a sec, but it was a rough year for the Volunteers. Just, I think, 19 and 15, went out in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and your coach basically missed the first half of the SEC season.
Yeah.
How rough was that on him and on you guys?
It was rough on us. I think when you look at, you know, college guys, there was a lot of distractions, just in the media and also in our playing environment. But I thought as a group we did a good job of just trying to come together. Beginning of the season we started off really hot, but then the distractions kept on coming. The media was there a lot, and you know, it kind of interfered in with us. And you know, obviously without having your coach at times, that's tough. That's super tough. But you know, we managed to get to the tournament. You know, we underachieved as a team, but at at the same time, you live and you learn from those circumstances.
Tobias, you talked about distractions, and there was a big story earlier this week, a national story, kicker at Central Florida, who's become a YouTube sensation, 56,000 subscribers, and he's got, you know, 1 million views, 2 million views even, and the NCAA comes and says, you can't do this anymore because you're making money off your likeness. Where do you fall on the pay-for-play?
Well, I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of weird that the NCAA tells that to him when, you know, NCAA makes money off of all these athletes' likeness, you know what I'm saying? So it's a fine line, but at the same time, I mean, I think every player that plays college plays in the NBA. I tell guys, I tell myself, I tell my teammates that you're a brand. You know, you are a business yourself, and if that guy can go on YouTube, YouTube's a super big business. You know, there's so many people that are making good money off of YouTube, and you know, that's in the age that we live in, technology is super key. So for the NCAA to come down and crack down on him for that, I think that's actually wrong, and you know, so I don't agree with that at all.
So you spent the 1 year with the Vols. Then June of 2011 comes the draft in New Jersey at the Prudential Center, and you get picked 19th.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in just a sec, because 17th was Iman Shumpert, and this I'll tie you into the whole Cavaliers thing, because to me they're basically the Knicks West with Shumpert and J.R. Smith and a couple of the other guys that played for the Knicks. But you got drafted by the Bobcats and pretty much immediately traded to Milwaukee, to the Bucks. So you got to wear the Bobcats hat up on the stage for about 10 seconds, right?
You got to walk across the stage, shake David Stern's hand, and then came into the back room to be told that you're getting traded to the Bucks. But for me, it didn't matter at that point. I just wanted to get drafted, wanted to hear my name called. All the teams before me, you know, I was hoping at the draft, okay, maybe they'll draft me. I had a good workout there. Maybe that will happen. So it was kind of nerve-wracking for me, but you know, I remember it like it was yesterday. It's one of the greatest moments in my life, a lifetime goal for me ever since I was a young kid to make it and to get drafted, to see, you know, all the hard work pay off was awesome.
Well, here's the thing. Shumpert goes 2 picks before you, which is roughly 10 minutes, right? There's 5 minutes between picks, I think. So 10 minutes later, maybe you would have been a Knick and playing in front of the home fans all the time. And then who knows, because the way things went for Shump, he plays for the Knicks for a while and then winds up getting traded. Maybe you'd be on the Cavaliers now if everything had broken. I know that you don't want to look back on any regrets, but you spent a year and a half in Milwaukee. Scott Skiles, I know, was one of your coaches. Then you got traded to the Magic. And you would eventually reunite with Coach Skiles. And then, not too long after that, I think it was another year and a half, they sent you to the Pistons. So you've been pretty well traveled. You know, the multiple high schools, now multiple NBA teams. And I have to ask, what is it like playing for Stan Van Gundy?
Well, it's been you know, awesome and a blessing for me to play with Coach Van Gundy. He's a great coach, cares about his guys on and off the floor. He's a motivator. He wants to win more than anybody. And as a player, I mean, you have to respect that, because at the level that we're at, in the business that we're at too, in the NBA, you know, it's about winning. It's about being professionals every single day, and that's what he asks of us every single day we walk in the gym. So, for me, it's been you know, it's been awesome. Every single day I go to work, I'm happy with my job. I'm happy with you know, how we are as a team, and we're going to continue to get better. So, it's you know, it's been a blessing to be a part of the organization.
He really is, though, one of the all-time characters. And it's funny because when Jeff was coaching his brother here with the Knicks, much more buttoned up and not as loose as he is on TV now when we see him on ESPN and ABC. And Stan is sort of, you know, on all the time. People joke that he's, you know, the sports version of Ron Jeremy because they sort of look similar. But we've heard him say some very outlandish things. Does he get a little nuts with you guys on the practice floor?
No, not that bad.
So he saves his act for us in the media then?
A little bit. I think he just always speaks his mind, and he lets people know how he's feeling, just like he lets us know as players how he's feeling. Sometimes it could be screaming at us at times, but you know, you understand it, and sometimes, you know, you have to listen to what he's saying, not how he's saying it.
Pistons will have the 12th pick in the draft next week, barring any changes. And I know the number 12 has a special significance in your life, which I want you to tell us about in just a sec. Do you think that's any kind of sign?
It could be.
Is it an omen?
You never know. It could be. But I think this is a very good draft. From top to bottom, I think you have a lot of really good guards in this draft that can be game changers. So I'm excited about this draft. I mean, if you look at it, with Boston having the #1 pick and the Lakers at 2, you don't really know which way a team may go. Maybe they'll trade the pick, but I think at our pick at 12, we have a good chance to get a good player and somebody that can make an impact.
Talk to us, if you would, about the significance of the number 12 in your life. I know it's a story that goes back to your childhood.
Yeah. So I lost my best friend when I was a kid at 16 years old. His name was Morgan Child. So when I got to Orlando, it was a chance for me to get the number 12 and to wear it in representation of him. And, we had a dream as kids to make the NBA, so it's something that's always in my heart. With the Pistons, Aaron Baines has number 12. Right. So I asked him every single day for the number back, but he hasn't budged yet. So maybe, hopefully this offseason we can sign him and maybe he'll come to grips. Or maybe I'll just steal it from him.
You have to sweeten the pot, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, I do.
What have you offered him?
I've offered him dinner. He likes barbecue, so I offered him barbecue food. The whole
Maybe
night.
what you need to do, though, is take him to Texas or Kansas City.
This is true.
For barbecue,
true.
right?
Maybe I have to
jump on a plane.
Yeah.
Your owner has some money.
True.
Speaking of which, you're going to be playing in a new arena come fall, Little Caesars Arena, if memory serves. What was it like, first of all, playing where you did at the Palace for so many years and now moving downtown?
Well, the Palace was super special. I mean, it's a historic building, and there's a lot of history behind it. Our fans gave us so much great support through the years, and we're excited to go downtown. We're excited to keep our fan base and just continue to grow and continue to grow the city of Detroit. I think that's the biggest thing, and as a team, we want to make this move a great move for us and the organization, and really to excel on the court. So I think we're going to use the energy of the city to fuel us in our play and just be the best we can be.
Tobias Harris with us on the Marc on this Thursday morning. Draft next week at Barclays Center. Most fans, and I think most of the so-called basketball experts, are expecting that Lonzo Ball's name will be the first called. You're from a basketball family, although we have not heard stories of your parents being anything like Lonzo Ball's dad or Lamar Ball. What do you think of all that going down with the challenges to Michael Jordan and the big buck sneakers and looking for that mega deal with the sneaker companies? As a player who's already established, what do you think about a young guy coming in with all of this bluster, even if it's not his?
Well, I think I look at it kind of different. I look at it as in the sense of a father who loves his children, all of his children. He talks so highly of his children. My dad's like that too. He loves us as basketball players and as people. And my dad doesn't have a camera on his face 24/7 though. Right. That's one thing. But I think in terms of what he's doing, his kid is all over the media, number one. His brand is through the roof right now. All the kids' brands are through the roof. You go on Instagram, they have close to 1 million followers. So I mean, in terms of branding, I think he's doing a very good job with it. Can some of the stuff be a little bit outlandish? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, LeVar Ball, he's not playing the game of basketball. So I think for the kid, Lonzo Ball, one thing that I've seen with him is he goes out there and he handles his business every single day on the court. He's a great player. You don't see him talking as much. So when you look at him, you say, okay, his father's talking, but this is the guy who's playing. So this is the guy you got to go against. So I respect him as a player. I think he's a great player, and I think he's going to make a huge impact in the league. Who's
been the toughest guy for you to go up against so far in your career?
Toughest, there's been a lot of tough guys. I would say one-on-one wise, it's between KD and Carmelo. Just guarding those guys on an island by yourself is tough. I would say team aspect-wise, it would definitely be LeBron James. I mean, at my position, he's somebody that makes the game hard because he uses teammates a lot and he's able to pass and make plays for them and get guys open shots so the teams can't help a lot. So there's a lot of tough guys every single night, but those three stand out the most.
As a New York guy playing out of town, I'm sure you follow, at least from afar, the Melo and Phil and the whole Knicks saga. What do you think of all that?
I mean, that's kind of their type of business, what they're doing. But I know Melo, and I played with Melo, played against him and stuff. I mean, he's a guy that works his tail off. I mean, every offseason he's in the gym getting better, trying to be the best. He hasn't had the best talent around him to really make that type of impact. But I think, wherever he'll end up, he'll be okay. Or even if he still stays with the Knicks, I mean, he's a great talent, and you can't teach some of the things that he does. And, he's a game-changer type player.
I asked Kobe, I have to ask you, who wins the title first? The Lakers, the Knicks, or the Pistons?
The Pistons. I mean, that's my team. That's who I'm going with. I mean, as a player, I wouldn't be a competitor if I said another team. But, that's the confidence that I have in our unit and our team.
If it can't be the Pistons, would it be the Lakers or the Knicks?
The Pistons.
That's a great answer. Tobias Harris, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
He is Tobias Harris. I'm Marc, and we're on the mark.